Hello, my name is Laquita Young, and this is my presentation on epithelial tissues, Chapter 5.2. So I'll be basically going over how epithelial tissues are classified in my presentation. Okay, so the first thing to do when you're looking at an epithelium is to look at the cell layers. And for example, in this diagram here, these are examples of simple epitheliums, reason being because they only contain one cell layer. The diagram that I listed below, again, so let's take a look at picture one. So for example, if the shape of the cell is a lot wider than it is in height, or even if it's flattened, then that is classified as a simple squamous epithelium. Picture two in the diagram, if the height, the width, and the depth of the cell are about the same, then it is classified as a simple cuboidal epithelium. In picture three of the diagram, if the height is far greater than both the the width, then it is classified as a simple columnar epithelium. Okay, so sometimes the epithelial cells or the layers may have many more cell layers, not just that one cell layer. And in that case, it is classified as a stratified epithelium. It also depends on the shape of the surface of the cell. If the surface cell is squamous, then it is called a stratified squamous epithelium. If the surface cell is cuboidal, then it is classified as a stratified cuboidal epithelium. Rarely do you find cells that are stratified in columnar, so that is considered a stratified columnar epithelium. Okay, so in this last diagram, this last slide, the first picture is of a pseudostratified columnar epithelium, and the second picture is of a transitional epithelium. The pseudostratified, the nuclei appear to be at different levels or at different heights. So it could give you the impression that this epithelium is stratified, but doing some research, if you were to use a microscope, you'll see that all of the cell levels sit on the basement membrane. So although it appears to be stratified, it isn't. So that's why it's given the name pseudostratified epithelium. So the transitional picture is the epithelium in the bladder, or parts of your urine repassage, which is known as a transitional epithelium. So when the bladder is either relaxed or empty, the cells pretty much adopt stratified cuboidal appearance. But now when the bladder distends and is full, then the surface cells tend to kind of flatten out. So in other words, the epithelium goes through a transition. And it all depends on the state of the bladder, if it's full or if it's empty. So that's why it's given the name transitional, sorry. But that wraps up my presentation, and I hope that kind of breaks down the basics on classifications for epitheliums.